In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect hair selection in PS Touch. Alright guys, welcome back again. So before we go ahead with this tutorial, I want to let you guys know that there are two ways of doing this. We have the quick way, which is less efficient, and we have the good way, which is more efficient. So I'm going to show you those two ways right here in this video. So let's just start with the quick way. The quick way simply means you can use any tool. So first of all, let's duplicate this. Going to duplicate this layer. Done. Let's turn the one at the bottom. So the quick way, you can use any tool to select. So we can even use the lasso selection tool. So let me just use this and show you how. So you can just maybe kind of roughly draw around the hair like so. Okay, so next thing you want to do is to click right over here and click on refine edge. So you can just come over to brush. Maybe you want to increase the brush size a bit, and you can just brush adjust at the edges like so, and you can see it's going to do a pretty good job. Okay, maybe we want to increase the brush size a bit even more. Okay, so just brush around these edges. As you can see, the selection isn't that bad, but though this is not the best way to select hair, I'm going to show you why in a second. Okay, so maybe let's take this as an accurate selection. Let's assume it to be an accurate selection. So click on OK. Alright, so you can do two things about this. You can come over here, you can click on layer from selection, or you can just come over here. Since we already have a backup, so you can click on extract. Alright, as you can see, it seems like a pretty neat job, but wait for it. So let's deselect this. Let's see if it really does a pretty good job. Let's add an empty layer at the bottom. Done. So but let's fill it with a color. So fill and stroke. Yeah, this might look fine, but maybe let's try maybe a dark green. Now take a look. As you can see, the selection isn't that perfect, though this might work in a maybe a bright background, but in a background as dark as this, I don't think it's going to work. So let me show you the alternative way of doing this. Okay, so let's turn this one off. I think I'm going to take it to the bottom. While this one, let me duplicate it and take it to the top. Okay, so this is the one we'll be working with for now. So to make this work, we will need to duplicate it again like so. So we have 2 copies of it, so don't worry about these ones. I just leave them here as a reference. So this is the ones we're working on. So what we want to do is to come over to effects, click on threshold like so. Okay, I think the threshold, I'll leave it as 50. So let's go to smoothness. Maybe I want to increase it a bit. Okay, could something like this work? Alright, so what we are doing is we are like kind of making the hair complete black and the background complete white. So I know it's not accurate now, but don't worry, click OK. So what we want to do now is to click right on our layer drop down, add an empty layer above it. Done. Change the blend mode of the empty layer to overlay. So what you want to do, click on your brush, on your paint tool, make sure the color is black, like 100% black. The brush, you can increase the size. So as long as the blend mode is in overlay, If we paint on any white area, it's not going to affect it, but when we paint on the neutral gray, it's going to affect it. Take a look. It's going to make the work a bit easier. So just brush around. Okay, as you can see, it looks way more darker than before, because even though we brush right here, it's not going to affect it, only the area that is a bit gray. So now we have done just that. Let's go ahead and merge it down with the bottom layer. Alright, so now to select the air off is what we're after now. So now what we want to do is to click on FX, click on threshold for the second time, but this time the color white, this color, this back color which is white, we want to take it to 0%, like so. While the threshold here, I think we should leave this threshold as 100%. The smoothness, I meant to say, make it 100%. Leave the threshold as 50, that is fine, but the smoothness, make it 100. So now we can click OK. Alright, so let's turn this layer off. As you can see, it feels like we have the air in its own layer. So now what we want to do, make sure this layer is active. Click right on this bar, then click on select pixels. Alright, so you can turn this one off, then come to this one, turn it on. Click right here, layer from selection, done. So let's turn this one at the bottom off. So I think I'm going to deselect this. So here we have it in its own layer. So let us turn on the green background. Let's see if it does a pretty great job as well. Okay, it's not bad, but we can still fix this. But just take a look at the one we did earlier. As you can see, it's way more rougher than this one, but we are still going to fix this and remove all these white edges. So to do that, what we want to do, first of all, let's get rid of this one. We no longer need it. Delete. What we want to do, we want to make a duplicate of this layer, so we have them twice. So turn off the one at the bottom. So what you want to do again is to come over to FX, then click on threshold. This is the last time we're going to be using threshold. This time you want to go to the back of the fore color, take it to 0%, then come back to this back color, take it to 100%. So in this case, we're going to be playing with the threshold and the smoothness. So I think the smoothness, I'm going to knobs. So we just want to select the edges. We want to bring it so that the edges will appear at this point. As you can see, these are the white edges, and this is what we are going to use to fix that. Okay, so let's assume this is accurate enough. So let's assume this is fine and well. So now you can click OK. So what you want to do is to click over here, click on select pixels. Okay, the pixels is selected. It says no pixels are more than 50% selected. The selection edges will not be visible. So the pixels is selected, it's just that the selection is not visible. So assuming we come to this point, click right here, select pixels. You can see this highlighted thing going on. That's the selection being visible. But right at this point, if we click on select pixels, the selection is there, but it's not going to be visible. Okay, so now we can turn this on, off, turn this back on. Maybe we want to add an empty layer above it. So pick up a brush, pick maybe a color from the air. Alright, I think this one will do. The brush size, I think I'm going to increase it. So now you can just brush at the edges like so. As you can see, this is doing a very perfect job. So let's take a look at the before. So this is the before and here's the after. As you can see, it does a great difference. So you can even spend more time on this and refine it. So as you can see, here's the before and here's the after. So you can see how easy this is. It's not that too hard. And yeah, I think we are done with that. I think that is just it. So this is the before, here's the after. So it works great both in dark background and bright background. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.